It'd be great if I had the mic on. That's a great bloopers. Anyways, join me this Saturday for my holistic retreat, a holistic show. We're gonna have vendors there. Gonna be juice ladies there. There's gonna be me there. There's gonna be the candy lady there. We got the best supplement there for you. Also, we have a naturopathic doctor. He's not only a naturopathic doctor, he's a microbiologist, he's a toxicologist. Yeah, he used to be a consultant, Health Canada, a whole bunch of places. So come on down. We have lots of information for you, and let's go. Oh yeah, did I mention the first 30 people, the first 30 moms or children can get access to a massage. So make sure you come down 3761 Victoria Park. Yeah, we want to see you there.
Hello, welcome Solix Nation. We are just coming back from the event of the year, Day of Discovery.
Yes, I can't even sleep still. I'm so excited. I'm so pumped. I have energy for days. We had so much fun. Everybody that was able to make it, thank you so much for coming. It's everything we want it to be every time. And this one was just as special as the rest, but we had more people. So I think it was more special.
We had people from Australia.
From Zimbabwe.
Canada.
Ecuador.
We had people from all over the world travel all the way to Provo, Utah for Day of Discovery.
And hundreds of people from the United States.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah.
It really was on fire. It was just endless fun. We had the tears, we had the laughter, we had the bloopers, we had everything.
All right, maybe we should give them a little look at it.
I'm coming from Zambia. I came because I really love the programs, the software, the products.
I just had this urge that I had to be here, and I've been told how wonderful it is to be in the room with everyone.
To be on a mission with like-minded people that are all making a ripple effect in the world is just the most powerful energy to be in.
Being here and sharing with all these wonderful, high vibrant people, helps us a lot to understand more the system.
Just the love you feel and the compassion of the company, I wouldn't miss it for the world.
My favorite speaker was definitely Dr. Jen. She is always so informative.
Dr. Mitchell Abrams, that was incredible. Just exactly what I needed to hear. I had tears in my eyes. It brought home everything. It put all the pieces of the puzzle together.
Dr. Darrell, yesterday, I cried when he was really speaking out about how we need to take our power back.
AOU is something that I'm looking forward to taking and replacing a couple of things that I already take.
I'm most excited about the biome and the enzymes. Just gut health is so important.
It's been the hub. I love the idea of the neural reprogramming and complement the AO scan in that way. It's just phenomenal.
Este congreso fue espectacular, un nivel de vibración diferente.
It's going to make me tear up. I have never been a part of a company that has so much soul. My partner rang me last night and all I could do was cry when he asked how it was, and he was really worried. I said, no, it's good tears, it's happy tears. So yeah, that's why.
I want to go back.
Yeah, that's it. Rewind time.
Let's start over. Yeah.
Well, we got another one in a year, right?
Oh, it's a long time.
But you know what we did? Okay, one thing that we did launch at this was usually we launch the next event's tickets at this year, and that would be the virtual event in March. The one thing that we did do that is available right now is the entire 2025 event ticket, which is the virtual and next year's live event. So if you are knee deep in the Solix and you're ready to get deeper, that's the ticket you want to get, right?
Yeah, we don't want to run into what happened this time, and that's why we're doing it that way. We sold out, I think end of July, we sold out of tickets, and there was a little panic of people getting tickets. So we don't want that to happen again. That's why we're opening up the tickets now. And then we will warn you as we get close to selling out so that you have that forewarning.
Yeah.
But we don't want to talk about selling out yet.
No, we love the commitment. We love the engagement. Now not just the ticket, there was so much, there's more than we will be able to ever cover on one call.
Yes.
And so in the coming weeks, we will be rolling out information about everything that we launched starting tonight.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, the truth is that's the reason to come to Dave Discovery. One of the biggest reasons to come is because you get all of the new stuff. You get all the housewives at Dave Discovery. So we know that those that didn't attend, you see new things on your scanner, you see new products in the back office. You aren't sure what those are. We will get that information to you. It just, we can't, like Kai said, we can't do a 2-day event in a half-hour call.
Yeah.
So
it was fire hose experience for a 2-day event.
I think the people at
Right?
the event need a break, and then they want to revisit all the things that we
Like, what
gave
did we
them.
talk about?
Yeah, so just hang tight. You will get that information. We'll also have information on solexglobal.com on our blog about new products and new scanner features. But just keep watching these weekly updates, because that is what we will be doing over the next weeks, if not months, is unfolding what is new at Solex.
Yes, and we're coming to the end of a quarter. September is the end of a
Yes.
quarter,
Yep.
and what we do at the end of a quarter, we're looking into the next quarter, right?
Mhm.
The end of the year, and every time we do a goals and hire call. So the end of this month, the week of, well, it's September 26th,
September
right?
26th. It's a Thursday at 4:00 Mountain Time. We will have a gold and higher call. If you have hit gold, you don't have to break. If you have hit gold, you'll receive an email that morning with the Zoom link, and we will be giving you some information that you need, including the quarter 4 incentives. But not only that, we have, I'm going to call it a new launch, because it's a new launch that you're going to want to see. We're giving it to you first on that call. So make sure you call in. That is not a recorded call. So make sure you are available at 4:00 on the 26th if you're gold or higher. Also, more information we will be giving you, and we just want you to be able to relay that information to your teams.
Yes, and also speaking of September,
Yes.
well, we do want to bring your attention to some. We have so much, right? There's so much to tell
Always.
you about, and we love telling you about this. But during the month of September, if you bring on a new preferred customer or a new QLA with the bundle and the subscription, we always want to give some sort of incentive to that new person, something extra to that person who commits that way. And so this month we're giving away the Solex Negative Ion Power Patches. That's a 6-pack of power patches that people use in a myriad of ways. And go on the Facebook group, right? To
Yes.
find out all the different ways that people use the power patches. But you get those for free for signing up. So you can use that as you're sharing the AO Scan technology, maybe the brand new AO Core Pack, Blue, whatever it might be. If they come on with the bundle, a
Mhm.
bundle, any bundle, and a subscription, they will get those power patches.
That's right. And coming, like you said, it's the end of the quarter. So our quarterly incentive is also coming to a close.
Right. And so if you enrolled 3 people during the entire quarter, the 3-month period that ends in September, if you don't enroll 3 with the bundle and the subscription, and their subscription successfully processed, I always have to give the terms and conditions, you guys.
Can't help
That's
himself.
the lawyer in me. It's just what we do. The term and the conditions. That subscription successfully processed, you will get an extra $100 bonus on top of what you get in the Rich Commission plan.
That's right. So 3 people, July, August, and September. And then if you bring on 6,
If you bring on 6, you get an additional $250, bringing the total to
$350 extra. Not bad, especially now we're almost to Christmas. So
yeah, that's a great thing that will be paid out after that.
we have had 3 people in the last 2 weeks send in their license plates. Amanda Surratt, North Carolina. I love North Carolina, and I love your plate. Solex 1, you match me. Movita Claiborne, Virginia, AO Scan 4. And Brad Ferguson, New Mexico, Cefi 97. Do you see how 3 different plates and totally different plate names?
Yeah, I love
Cefi,
that. I
AO
love that.
Scan, Solex.
Well, and those are real plates, right? Those
Yes.
are DMV issued plates. Now, one thing we did launch at this last day of Discovery, some of our swag was the license plate cover.
That's right.
We love that license plate cover. That will not get you a Solex silver coin. The DMV issued plate with a Cefi, Solex, or AO Scan will.
And I
actually.
believe we also have MindSync. There's another approved plate in there.
Oh,
But
wow.
those 3 that we just showed, congratulations. We are sending you a Solex silver coin. You're part of the Legacy Group.
Something else we launched at this last day of Discovery was a new incentive trip. Do you want to see what you can earn? The thing that I want to bring your attention to is we have a tracker. There's a bit of a correlation that I observed over the last 2 incentive trips, and it's those that started tracking earlier had a more likely chance of achieving the trip than those who started late. And so what do we have? In your back office, under Documents and Media, in the business section, the business folder, you will find the incentive trip tracker. And you can print off one for every month and use that. We'll go in more detail on that.
We will talk more about that on the Golden Hire call. And then we'll also have more direct to you that we'll talk about that. But you're going to want to print off, Kai suggests printed off 12 of them right away. So you have one from September all the way through August of next year, and you can easily track your trip. We had a contest a couple of weeks ago on our last weekly update. We asked you, what Solex products do you use to help support your kids?
Yeah, because it's school season. Kids are back in school, right? And we're giving away all 3 colors to each winner.
Yeah, so 3 people will win 3 bracelets.
Okay.
Do you want me to start?
Yes, you start.
All right.
Ladies first.
All right. This is Noelia Ines Wilson. We love using our AO scan in the morning before school by doing a quick scan and imprinting pellets. Then we do an inner voice on each of the kids. From the inner voice report, they choose what color glasses they wear while finishing up breakfast and on the way to school. In the car, we listen to one of their inner voice tones. If they are nervous about a test or any other situation, we will imprint Cephi dots, and I will send them a Cephi playlist while they're at school. You have a whole system for your kids getting ready.
These kids are like little Einsteins going to school. They're in great shape. Wow. All right, here we go. This is a user.
We'll put it up on the screen. Just tell us who you are.
Yep, let us know who you are. I utilize the inner voice and the ADHD trace minerals, ultimate emotions, homeoenergetics frequency playlist, and homeopathic frequencies the most with the kids. Most children with attention issues or temperament issues respond very quickly to inner voice. A lot of times they have emotions that have been inherited or absorbed from others, and they don't know how to deal with them or to process them. Inner voice provides them a non-invasive and enjoyable way to process those emotions. Plus, most children these days are lacking trace minerals and a healthy diet, and the stress from their emotions uses up what little they have. The trace minerals complete, and the cell salts homeopathic frequencies help to fulfill those daily needs very nicely. And when I would add gold to that.
Yeah, but I 100%
that's
agree
awesome.
with
That is
everything
huge.
that was said.
Yes, so well said.
Really good.
Let us know who you are.
Yes.
And we'll get you those kids bracelets.
Last one. The Wellness Community SoCo. Let us know who you are. I use the AO scanner to support my kids' emotions when they are sick. We check the scans and see what they need for supplements and how to treat based on the patterns we see: viral, parasites, molds. And my kids wear their bracelets every day. Or they're getting more, or they could give them to their friends. Congratulations, you won the bracelets.
Yep.
Great job to all of our winners. All right, we have 2 weeks.
2 weeks. 2 weeks worth of top rollers. Yes.
Let's start with September 2nd through the 8th. We actually have a big list for second place. A tie for second place. The first one is Micah Teeter.
Iona Nicora. I hope I said that right. But
Sydney McNary.
Memuna Jackson.
Wendy Brennan.
Christine Baker.
Congratulations to all of you.
That's a long list.
We have one person in first place, and this person is a brand new Pearl.
Brand new Pearl.
And her name is Jessica Zavallos.
Great job, Jess. She gets another Solex
silver coin.
And then we had the week of the 9th to the 15th.
Yes, this last week.
Any ties?
No ties this week.
Okay.
So in second place, we have Alexia Suarez.
And in first place, drum roll.
With the 100th coin.
Paige Wheeler, congratulations. Great job.
Congratulations to both of you. Well done. We have so much to discuss on this call. I'm actually really excited. So should we do it?
Let's do it.
All right.
Your foundation for a balanced life. Feel the difference with AO Biome.
You know, Lauren, we have a pretty rich history here at Solex. We're not very old.
No.
We're only a few
We're
years
just
old.
Infants in this industry.
Yeah, babies, right?
Yeah, we are.
But we're scrappy, little guys, right? Making our way in this industry. And even though I think we've come out with some groundbreaking stuff and tried to push a narrative of change and challenging the status quo, I do think that there is a greater history that's worth addressing as we introduce something on this video.
Okay.
The history, you've been involved in so many things. I mean, not just Solex and not just the last handful of years. You have decades of experience exploring the bounds of frequency, energy, and different modalities of helping people heal and get better and get stronger and learn and be educated. One of the things that I'd like to kind of just cherry pick and talk about for just a minute is the Theta Machine. Will you just give us a little bit of history of how you got into the Theta Machine, and let's kind of take that as a stepping stone towards something actually more available.
Okay.
How about that?
All right. So it goes back to the 80s when we had adopted our first son, Michael, who had cerebral palsy. And a lot of people probably already know this story, but my wife and I were trying to find ways to improve his quality of life.
Mm-hmm.
And he was headed towards a wheelchair. And so all these things were in our mind. And so we, over a period of time and meeting with lots of doctors, going to lots of conventions, came up with what we now call the Theta Chamber.
Yes.
And it's a device that stimulates the brain multiple ways simultaneously, but all in sync with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And the Theta Chamber literally changed Michael's life and therefore changed our life.
Yeah.
Because Michael's now 42 and he has no CP.
Yeah.
And so, yes, it was an amazing discovery for us. But in that 30 some odd years, we now have hundreds of Theta Chambers around the world and changing the lives of thousands of people.
Of so many people, right? It's interesting because when you think about the Theta Chamber and this concept of someone with CP, right? Cerebral palsy. I have a daughter with cerebral palsy, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is a damaged area of the brain where essentially the signaling isn't working the way a typical person's signaling always works.
And I think the key to that is the signaling in the brain.
Yeah.
The brain's, it's like playing baseball. There's a pitcher, but there's not a catcher
Right.
catching that ball. And it gets frustrating. And so things don't work the way they're supposed to.
Yeah.
And imagine how frustrating that'd be for us. Imagine how frustrating it is for
them.
someone like that that's dealing with this miscommunication. The Theta Chamber helps reconnect to when that signal is sent, there's someone to receive it.
I love that because even in the 80s, this wasn't as apparent, right? This whole neuroplasticity that is so prevalent in the marketplace now. And obviously studying, learning, and people researching this is so much more available now. The reality that the brain actually is not just this powerful tool that helps us to control our lives and experience life, but it actually is a magnificent adapter to our environments, to what we give it.
And the thing is when you and I were growing up as kids, we were told that when we kill brain cells, they're gone forever.
Yeah.
And they don't ever get replaced. And we've now learned that that's not true.
Yeah.
The neuroplasticity is real. It's a real thing. The brain is continually improving and developing and growing as we stimulate it, whether that's with frequencies or with food, with thoughts. All of these things contribute to that. But you're right. This brain that we have up here is an ever developing organ.
I love that. There's so much promise in that, right? We aren't stuck with what we had.
Mm-hmm.
We actually can work on it. And that's really your experience in developing the different modalities available in the Theta Machine, this powerful machine, this big machine that you've had iterations, you've improved on it. You've improved its not just how it works, but its commercialization, right? You've talked about having hundreds throughout the world in these very high-end, people who are professionals using these to help thousands and thousands of people, right? In those, you talked about your son. Can you recall any other experience of somebody who's had a great experience using the Theta Machine? Any stories come to mind?
Oh, there's hundreds of stories. You know what's amazing with the Theta Chamber is every person has a very unique experience.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone that gets inside. For example, when your daughter went through, her experience was totally different from Michael's.
Yes.
Totally different from mine. We've had people go into the Theta Chamber. They'll be in there for 30 minutes. And when we go to open up the chamber, they get out. Some of them are crying. Some of them are happy because of the experience that they had. And it's all a brain chemistry experience that's taking place. And so some of these experiences where people have had complete about faces, no longer addicted to a substance or no longer dealing with suicidal tendencies, no longer feeling like they can't do what they want to do. in
Yeah,
life.
yeah.
So,
I love that that psychological benefit too of just having some confidence that there is a way to actually help myself achieve what I want to achieve.
gives hope.
Yeah, it gives hope. I'll tell just to quickly noting on what the story that you touched on, which was my daughter. Our daughter has cerebral palsy, and obviously we got introduced to the theta chamber a little bit later in her life. There's a lot of maturity in her brain already, but let's just touch on really that there is no end to the rewiring, right? She's a little bit older, and obviously the earlier in the development of the brain, there is some benefits in that way, as you've experienced over the last decades. But part of her cerebral palsy affects her lower extremities. She would drag her right foot. I mean, she couldn't necessarily walk. She really can't. She uses canes or a wheelchair. But at home, one of the things that we would observe was that she would, she would love to carry her drink or her, cereal bowl from the kitchen counter to the table.
And sometimes to a room, which was up a flight of
Yeah,
stairs.
she would love to be able to do that, to be independent. But you know what? The cerebral palsy affected her in such a way that it was so shaky and so disruptive. Just getting it 6 feet from the kitchen counter to the kitchen table was enough to spill, half the cereal on the floor. And it was frustrating for her, although she never really would express that, right? She never would complain about that. But she goes and she does 28 days in the theta chamber. And we observe her steadiness, a steadiness in her ability to control muscles that she shouldn't be able to control.
Or at least hadn't been able to that point.
And not just a steadiness of moving things that would spill and fall and end up on the floor, not just from the kitchen table to from the kitchen counter to the kitchen table, but she would be able to take her cereal bowl, milk and all, down around the hall, up the stairs to her room. That was never possible before. There wouldn't be a chance that there would be a bit of cereal left in that bowl by the time she reached her room in the past. And now it is. And guess what? She did it that time. She hasn't lost it since. She still can have that control. But let me just tell you the depth of that. Here, the things that we do with assistance and the things that we do without assistance. The area of her brain impacted, I said, affected her lower extremities. Effectively, the professionals who know the brain really well said that area is dead. It's dead in the brain. It will not work. It will not control her lower legs. She won't be walking. She may not be sitting, right? And when you think about that, and the pre-theta chamber benefits was also evidence of the rewiring of the brain. We fortunately never gave her all the, lifted her up, carried her wherever she needed to go. We tried to encourage her to find her own way.
On her own,
Yeah. But what does that prove? That proves that rewire. And even with some assistance, she was able to stand on her own.
Yeah.
With an area of the brain that doesn't work.
Yeah. And that's the key. Doesn't work, not dead.
Yes.
Big difference.
Yeah.
Not working. Like when we're dealing with someone with an addiction.
Yeah.
And they've developed a neural pathway route in the brain, so to speak, that rewards that addiction. And if they don't get the addiction, they have their problems.
Yep.
What the theta chamber does, doesn't go in there and cut that road.
No.
It creates a new one.
A new pathway.
It creates a new neural pathway that within maybe a week or so's time is challenging the old pathway.
Yes.
And then pretty soon surpasses it and now becomes the main thoroughfare in the brain.
And I
no
love
longer the
that.
addiction.
And the thing is, we know that the more that pathway, that new pathway is used, is encouraged, the stronger the pathway gets, the faster the signaling takes place. Yeah. And the old pathway, the bad pathway, the pathway we don't want anymore, actually the technical term is it gets trimmed.
Yeah.
It no longer functions, or it doesn't function very well. It doesn't need to be used.
It's like a muscle that you never use. It atrophies and it dies on its own. The body takes care of it because the new pathway works.
This is a powerful machine. This is a commercial grade machine. This is a really a clinical environment tool. What does that machine cost?
The cost of the theta chamber is $78,500. So it's not small dollars.
No, that's a big deal, but it does a big thing, right? It's super powerful, and especially for that clinical environment. That, I mean, 78,000 is a bargain.
Yeah.
Now, those of you that are sitting here going, okay, Solex, what 78,000? You're gonna offer the theta chamber. We have a payment plan. Have you heard about the payment plan? Hang with me for just a minute. Let's
don't tune off.
Yeah, before we get too scared with that price point, the theta machine, the chamber is a powerful. I've been in it.
We'll go back to Michael. When we were doing all our research, we found that the part of Michael's brain that was not functioning the way it should was when he was in theta. Okay. That's when we dream. Theta is that dream state. They say it's when we're closest to source, to God, inspiration. It's when we have our most creative thinking. And that's when the body can do its best healing, is in theta. And so we focused everything on the theta chamber to bring the client's state of mind into that theta wavelength.
Yeah.
And that's why we call the theta chamber.
Yeah. To get that repairing, those new pathways built, give the brain the ultimate opportunity to do something with it. And I think that that's probably really powerful, right? When you relax things, sometimes it allows an easier flow of the new pathways to take place. You know what, Lauren, at Solex, we've been so impressed and so inspired by not only the history of everything that you've done here at Solex, but everything that you've done in your career, that we've talked about bringing something, maybe not on the commercial level, right? Maybe not on this professional high-end level, but something to the home. We've always wanted to reach, I've had this goal. I want AO scan technology in 100 million homes. I've always wanted it. I could just see it, and I want that. But I know that the theta chamber probably won't go into and it's not necessarily meant for the home.
Not really.
Right? But you know what? You've helped create something here at Solex that might be able to make it into 100 million homes. Is it okay if we show everybody?
Let's do it.
All right. The hub, you guys, Solex, I love this product. Of course I love this product, right? Solex brings it. We wouldn't bring it to market, I don't think, if I didn't love it.
No, you wouldn't.
And you too. I mean, we have so many fun sessions around what we get to bring to market, but this one has knocked our socks off.
And the thing is, Kai, we've been working on this for more than a year. This isn't something that just happened.
No.
We've been going through this. How can we make this? How can we make it better? And how can we make it affordable?
Yes. The thing is, we want to get it into the home. We want to make it as powerful as we can make it. And we'll talk about future-proofing in just a second, because we wanted to future-proof. We wanted this to do more than what we could even possibly imagine for the things we haven't even thought of yet. But let's go back. We just saw this portable home unit that gives or can help the brain get into theta. But one of the things in this last year, as we've reviewed how to build this and how to build this the best way for right now, for where we are right now, you actually came across something that was really interesting regarding not just theta, but that there might be other brainwaves that are actually pretty valuable for us to instigate, to help. Tell us a little bit about that discovery.
So for 35 years, we focus on just theta.
Yeah.
But then you start to realize, okay, well, there's a lot of other brain activity out there, a lot of other brain waves. What can we do? And we've learned that in certain circumstances, let's take autism, for example.
Yeah.
Autism, an individual is predominantly in the state of theta all the time. And that whole spectrum. And so Now we put them into the theta chamber and we compound that with more directed theta, and we can actually aggravate that situation. Not that we haven't seen good success with autism, but it was a little bit more of a challenge. Well, we learned that if that was the case, well, what if we switched him to alpha?
Alpha.
If we move that brain state into alpha from theta, we do two things. We're taking him out of the healing side a little bit, moving him up into an area of the brain that hasn't been getting the attention and the education and the guidance that it needed because it's always been in theta.
Yeah.
And so now they're getting into more of a creative, they're thinking better. They're able to take some of this awkwardness of always being in theta and kind of waking up a little bit and their life is better. So alpha is an amazing therapy for helping us get into a more creative way of our brain.
I love that. And that opening that up said, not just obviously with the autism and those on that spectrum, but also, hey, maybe we should explore a little bit further. What are all these other brain waves that we should have the option to instigate when we need those to help us learn, to get better, to create the pathways that we want. When you talk about theta as this deep relax, I mean, if we start at the bottom, right? Delta. Sleep, theta, deep relaxation, this inward focus, this healing process, this what needs to be repaired and changed. Alpha being still relaxed state, but more passive in its awareness.
You're up a little bit
more.
Like when you're sleeping at night, you're in the dream state. And then as you start to wake up, you kind of drift out of theta up into alpha.
Okay.
And now we're in that in-between state of dreaming and beta, which is awake. And I said, when someone wakes you up when you're in alpha, it's like, oh, where am I?
Yeah. Shocking.
And where if you wake somebody that's in dream state, it's like, well, it's a little slower.
So, it's groggy.
But when you wake them up out of alpha, it's like, oh, wait, what happened? And so alpha is an incredibly impressive state of mind to be in, because when you hit that block and you just don't know where to go, that's alpha.
I like
you get
that.
into alpha.
Yeah, because that passive attention, but still in a relaxed state, is still open to a lot of it. I feel it's like feeding subconscious. I mean, those other states, all these states can feed the subconscious to its own degree.
Right.
But it's interesting. It will be interesting for us as we improve upon this and learn even more how we can help educate and connect the dots with other parts of the scanner too.
Yeah.
I think is going to be powerful. After alpha, we get into beta. Beta sometimes I think can have a little bit of a bad connotation, not bad but when you think about it, sometimes anxiety floats around the beta state. But I'd like to turn that, as I kind of did my research around beta. Okay, it might have an anxiety dominant approach, is more active, but it still has a relaxed component to it, to outside or external attention, things that are going on beyond you, right?
Right. Well, like right now, this conversation that we're having, we're more actively in the beta.
Beta, yeah.
We're kind of in the lower end of beta because we're having to process thoughts and bring up memories and put all this together to where we can have a conversation that we are actually learning from and pulling things from. And so that's where your anxiety can come in. Is sometimes it's a little frustrating. Can't remember that. But that's beta is so important, and that we spend a lot of our time in beta.
And I love that because even if there is an anxiety around it, sometimes that anxiety is, I need, when we get sweaty palms, when we get the butterflies in the stomach, I've learned over the years that that's not just a bad thing. Sometimes it actually is, your body is also gearing up to perform.
And it's telling your brain, we got to get prepared.
Yes.
And so that's where all these things are
heightened awareness.
Play, right? Yes, absolutely. Right? Yeah.
So as you then move up past beta, we get into gamma. We get into the Hulk.
The incredible Hulk state. Hopefully none of us will go green or big, but
No, and it's not radiation. It's nothing like that. I know sometimes gamma has that connotation with something actually really could be harmful. We're talking about brain wave lengths here. The gamma is we're looking at 35 hertz and above. This is concentration and into hyper concentration.
Now
right?
you've just taken your brain into the quantum computing state.
Oh, I love that actually.
You're
so
focused. You're focused and highly efficient.
Yeah.
Because you've worked your way up to the beta, and now you're in, okay, The anxiety's not there, the frustration's not there. You are highly focused and you're able to process information at an incredible rate.
I love that. Let me bring up two things you taught me, and we don't necessarily have to hit the frequencies on this, but there's a frequency that you see as kind of a brain reset 1 level, and then a brain reset 2 level. This is a frequency that you could use within the hub to be able to kind of clear the cards. So let's just clean the board. Let's
wipe the canvas free.
Wipe the canvas. That's perfectly said.
We use that in the theta chamber when we have an individual that we're just not getting that progress that we were hoping and expecting. And we'll hit one of the frequencies in gamma, and there's 2 of them. You mentioned there's 2. We'll hit that, and it's kind of like when you go to your computer and it's really slowed down and lagging. You push the reset, it literally shuts it down and restarts it.
Yeah.
It basically just got rid of everything, got all the clutter out of the way. Clears the cache. And now you're back. And so one of those 2 frequencies, which is available in the hub, is just absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I love that. When I think about that, when I think about the brain reset, that there's a frequency that I can spend some time in, it's going to clear the cache, so to speak, of my brain. I could totally see using that as a preparatory state to do things like inner voice, to do something like mind sync, to do things like I need to focus. Absolutely. I'm getting bombarded. There's so many things passing. If I'm trying to learn how to do meditation, clear the cache. Learn how to focus on something simple, something quiet, and get your mind in an ability to be controlled and powerful in a neural pathway that you actually get to choose what happens.
So let's take this, down a path. So let's say you're getting ready to go to bed and you do your inner voice and you do your mind sync.
Okay.
You go to sleep. You spend some really quality time in theta, alpha. You're going back and forth between theta and alpha. Then you wake up and now you're in beta. You get up and you do your inner voice. And maybe you do another mind sync.
Yeah.
And then when you're getting ready to go do your stuff, you've done all the preparatory work. You sit down and you do a gamma reset. And now everything that you've brought in from inner voice, all the stuff that you brought up through your inspiration and your dreaming, your beta, you've kind of got to focus here. And then you say, okay, now I've done my preparatory work. Let's hit it. And now you've got your brain set.
I love that. I love that. And the thing is, with something like the hub, you can do it whenever you want.
Absolutely.
I could do it daily. I could do it monthly. I could do it quarterly. I could do it however often I want. And because it's a portable unit, it's something in the home, it's something everybody can do, right? In the family, something everybody has access to. I love this. So there is so much more to theta. But let's talk about the hub. The hub in its core state has the hub, the box that we saw, right? It has the goggles. That's where you get the visual stimulation. The thing where I saw all the patterns, but even though it's only showing me something really simple, my brain was going crazy with that. It has the audio stimulation. And then we have these frequency stimulators that go on the ears.
On the earlobes.
Right?
Yep.
That is the core features. But you know what, Lauren? That is powerful. That to everything that we talked about to this point, that is what you can use to accomplish these things. But we didn't stop there.
And we could have.
We could have stopped.
And it would have been just fine with just that.
When you think about competitors, things that have something like this.
So one of the methods of this type of stimulation, people have probably heard a lot of it called binaural beats.
Oh, yeah.
And this is not binaural
Used
beats.
them.
Yeah. This is not binaural beats. It is a binaural stimulation to the brain, but totally different from a binaural beat. Stimulating the eyes, we don't stimulate with red lights and blue lights and green lights. We use full spectrum white light only, because with full spectrum, the whole color spectrum is there.
Yeah.
And so your brain will pull and perceive what it needs to based on the emotions and stuff that you're doing. So we have pure white light. We have pure brain visual or audio stimulation that is different in the left hemisphere than it is in the right.
Yes.
And then you have your frequency stimulators on the earlobes that are help guiding the brain activity to a very specific target.
Yes.
And that's the hub.
So when you use the hub and you use those modalities, you're choosing, like we talked about the wavelengths, but you also can choose other things to help you gain that new neural pathway.
Absolutely.
Right?
So you can hook it right into where your Cepheid frequencies are playing right into the hub and being
Into you.
synchronized into everything else and coming into the brain at the same time simultaneously. You can bring in your inner voice music. You can bring all these things in. It's truly integrated to the AO scan.
Okay, Lauren, I'm gonna fall off my chair telling you about this because this is absolutely crazy. I have dealt with some degree of chronic back pain for a while.
Yeah.
And what I've learned about any chronic pain is that it is not so much the signaling from that area of the body as much as it is the magnitude of neural pathways being grown around the signal of pain.
Exactly. Yep.
Right. So if I said I had chronic lower back pain, the way I'm actually in the research I'm doing on this, the way to help heal, there's outside modalities like there's great benefits from red light. There's other things that you can take on the chemistry side. Yeah. But let's think about this. If the neural pathways are being overrun on the signaling of pain, and the thing is, it's not a bad thing. When you get the first injury, it's just saying, hey, something's wrong here. You better do something about it.
Yeah.
But the pain signal is minute. It might be sharp, but it's minute. Mm-hmm. If that pain signal is repetitive over and over and over again, guess what your brain is doing? It's creating new neural pathways over and over again. So then you have thousands of new pathways when it didn't need that many pathways.
And what that does on a physiological is it brings inflammation
to
where the pain is.
Because your body's saying,
compounding.
Go fix this over and over and over again.
Yeah.
The assist that you need to break the chronic nature of something like that is to break the pathway.
Yeah.
By me being able to choose through Cepheid, through the hub, through the modalities, when I'm in pain, I'm experiencing back pain, that's when I need to do something to break the pathway. If I can break the pathway, repeatedly, it's not a slow process, right? It's not a fast process.
Yeah.
It is a slow process. Apparently I need some hub to work on that part of it. Let's throw the gamma into this.
Well, actually, it's a little bit of both. It's fast in getting the information there. The body may take a little bit of time to make the changes.
To adapt.
But the minute you turn that stimulation on, it's processing.
Yes.
Now the body just has to catch up with that.
Yes. And I love it because that means that I can work on controlling the change of that chronic pain. That is power. And I'm just talking about one of the smallest things, right? Your mind can go wild with the things that your brain can do with the whole body. And having the modalities available to you to help stimulate the pathways to support what it is you want to do is what we're offering in the hub, but more. You'll see on the hub that there are other ports. There are power ports. There are distribution ports. One of the things that we have already talked about, and we kind of leaked at Day of Discovery, was that lasers may be in the mix, right? Think about red light, think about blue light, think about green light, think about infrared, right? Think about near infrared. Lasers, there are other ports. We held something else that had a magnetic quality to it. I won't necessarily say anything more there. Our brains are going crazy with so many things that we'll be able to add to the hub in the future to make not just what we talked about. Even though what we just talked about is enough, right? There's so much more available to us. Let me talk about, so we future-proofed it. There'll be more things that Solix will be coming out to add to the hub. With the AO Hub, there are some key restrictions that we need to talk about. One is that it does require an AO scan technology subscription to work.
Yep.
That is key, right?
Yep.
If you have the box and the goggles and the stimulator, the frequency stimulators and the headphones, it's great, but without a subscription, it will not work.
Well, and it's because the AO Hub was designed to complement the AO Scan subscription, to work with the subscription. And otherwise, we could have just came out with a Theta home unit.
Yeah.
We came out with the AO Hub, and it's a hub, meaning that it can be attached to many things.
Yes.
There's not limited to just what it is. And this thing requires the like you just mentioned, it needs a PC, it needs the AO subscription, it needs all of these things to be fully unbridled.
Yes, yes, and that is so important. When you think about, we talked about the future proofing and lasers and some other things. Think about a red laser, and yes, it is powerful enough on just a pain, right, on an inflammation area. But if we're using Cepheid with knee pain while frequent or pulsing that laser light
with
at that
frequencies.
frequencies, it becomes that much more powerful. You can kind of see where we're going with this. Another thing, like you said, you must connect it with a Windows operating system. This will not work on an Android. This will not work on an iOS. Your MacBook will not work with this. There are specific restrictions for us being able to build the connectivity that those other environments would not allow us at this point. Now, it doesn't mean in the future.
Maybe
right?
in the future.
If it unlocks in the future. But let me tell you, as you start to understand the value that's here, that $500 Windows tablet,
Or less,
or less, get it on Black Friday. Yeah? Great opportunities for us to expand what is at our doorstep, right? And so I don't want to discourage you by those limitations, but it does require the AOScan technology subscription, and it does require a Windows operating system. If you don't have those, you'll be sorely disappointed. It won't work on its own. It is combined to work. It is intended to work with those because what? We know the AOScan technology is a powerhouse, unforeseen in the world, right? Nobody else has anything like this, and we're still making it better. The best thing we can do is connect it to all of that power that sits behind it, right? Okay, $78,500 for a dedicated clinical environment, commercial grade machine. That is the Theta chamber.
Right.
The Solex AO Hub is not that. This is intended to be a home unit. Not to those standards, but certainly to powerful standards for the home use.
Right.
So do you want to know how much it costs?
How much?
The retail price on this is $4,000. The loyalty price is $3,000, and it comes with 2,100 points. This is available for everybody. This is a shift. This is an education shift. This is a learning. This is a healing shift in so many ways as people start to learn more about what they can do with their bodies. The AO Hub is, to me, outside of the AOScan technology, the most powerful thing we've come up with to date. It sits on decades of research that Lauren has so graciously allowed us to bring here through Solex in order to be able to bring something to 100 million homes. That's what we're going to do with this. I think it will. I think it needs to. You guys, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you learned a lot about what the AO Hub is, and take advantage while it's here. You know, not that we haven't talked enough about the Hub on this call already, but we love
not
it.
be able to talk enough.
Yeah, I know.
The people love the Hub.
It is a powerhouse. There's so much to it. Those that saw it hands-on at Dave Discovery, obviously, a lot of people took everything we had.
In 10
And
minutes,
there's more
21 minutes.
in
we're
21.
out.
Yes. And we have more going out the door.
That's right.
Right now.
That's
right. So don't worry. We have plenty ordered. We have plenty in process, and it's going out the door. But we love the Hub. We love so much that was launched. And there, again, like I said at the beginning of the call, I'll say it now. So much to cover over the next coming weeks and months. We hope that you'll stay tuned and just absorb that in. If you saw something new in your back office, and you're like, oh my gosh, that's what they launched. What is that? How does it work?
Yeah.
Maybe that's the question we ask.
Okay.
Right?
That's a good one.
What is something new that you saw launched at Dave Discovery that interests you or intrigues you the most, and why? What is that thing? And I have something that I think we can give away.
Okay.
We also introduced a bunch of swag, new swag at Dave Discovery.
And it was a hit.
And it was a hit.
It was a big hit.
In particular, people loved this beauty right here. Okay. So the new sweatshirt, the new crew neck sweatshirt with the Solex embroidered in, we'll give away 3 of these next week. With your response, we'll draw 3 names. Obviously, we'll get your size and send out the right size, not just any size. But what is the thing that's brand new that intrigues you the most, and why? And we'll see you next week. See you. That will be paid out after that.